the next 12 days, we will be in the middle of the Himalayan mountains hiking to Everest Base Camp. Hiking 6 to 9 hours every day, the actual terrain is not that difficult, but the high elevation is extremely hard to breathe in and even harder to sleep in. Your oxygen levels could drop below 70%. Our goal is to reach base camp and back, peaking at 5,364 meters and avoid getting sick. And for once, I won't be completing this solo. A stranger from Norway reached out to me on Instagram after I commented on a TikTok of someone completing EBC. It turns out there's a lot of people looking for a hiking buddy, so we agreed on a guide company and met up in Nepal. But it wasn't just us. After I signed up, my mom had FOMO and also decided to take on the challenge. We chose Ace the Himalaya, a local guide, to take us there, and we were joined by 2 other solo travelers. To get here, you have to fly into the most dangerous airport in the world because of the short runway off the side of a cliff. And the cloudy weather conditions, of course. The runway is 350 meters. It was wild. We've just started day 1 of hiking. We're only hiking for about 3 hours. The path is pretty smooth going. It looks like the first day is going to be our easiest. So this is what the tea house on night number 1 looks like. The restaurant is just through there and our room is up through here. With our guide company, it's 2 person per room. Unless it's odd numbers, then you get a single. So this is what a double room looks like. Honestly, way more luxurious. We brought sleeping bags, but there's already blankets and it's super warm at this first tea house. It's gonna gradually get colder, so we will need our warmer sleeping bags, but for now, we have hooks to hang our clothes. And we even have a bathroom, which is luxury. It doesn't come with toilet paper, but it does come with a faucet shower type situation, running water for a sink, and a bar of soap. We're not gonna get this probably after night 2, so this is extreme luxury. Once you get closer to base camp, you have to pay to charge your phone, so you gotta charge up while you can. You can also purchase Wi-Fi at most tea houses, but it's much cheaper if you get a SIM card once you land in Kathmandu. I think it only cost me like $10 for 8 gigabytes of data. I just want to take a quick moment to thank Surfshark for sponsoring this portion of the video. Sometimes I don't take the precautions that I should. You guys, I see a bear. It looks brown. Why do I do what I do? However, since I've been online more, I've started to take online security more seriously. Surfshark is a VPN that keeps your information safe. An easy way to think about it is anytime you connect to public Wi-Fi, it protects you from being hacked and you can turn it on with the switch of a button and it acts as a virtual shield. It also lets you switch your location to pretty much any country, and as a Canadian, I can say that the US Netflix has a lot more options. Surfshark is one of the only VPNs that allows you to use one account on any of your devices, so your laptop or your phone. Use the link in my description and enter the code Madison Clydesdale if you're interested for an extra 3 months free, which works out to be only a couple of dollars a month. Good morning and welcome to day 2 of EBC. Breakfast is at 7:30 and we leave by 8, so it's not too early mornings. And we pretty much hike 6 hours every single day, so it's not too bad, but we're about to see what higher elevation starts to do to our breathing and oxygen levels. But first, breakfast and coffee. This bridge is really wobbly. So we just learned that no one is allowed to climb that first peak that we're seeing. It's recognized as a holy mountain.
On that little beach down there.
These guys are the heroes of the trail. So this is about where we started and we followed the river down here. Base camp is around there and that's Everest up there. These bridges are held just by a couple wires over some really strong rapids. That is the Sir Edmund Hillary Bridge. It's the only one that's double-decker and we have to cross the top one. And we are almost at 3,000 meters.
You're gonna make me come down and come back up?
Yes, yes.
How many days do you have?
We just rounded the corner and entered Namche. Wow, it is amazing how they get these materials up there. Look at that thick cloud just sitting there. Welcome to day 3. We're staying in this mountain town for an extra night to acclimate to the elevation, and today might be the first day that we get a glimpse at Mount Everest. We're at 3,440 meters. Our oxygen levels are far less than what it was 2 days ago. Walking upstairs or doing slight inclines takes much more breath and energy than it would normally, so you really have to acclimate your body, and that's why we're staying here for an extra day. There's a volleyball court down there right in the middle of this city. So that's where we're staying tomorrow, on that ridge. And
Yeah,
that's
that's
Lhotse Mountain, the 4th highest in the world. And that's Holy Mountain, the one we saw yesterday. Oh, big stretch.
So calm.
That's morning exercise. They're getting. Oh, mani pe me hu. Oh, mani pe me hu. Oh, mani pe me hu. Oh, mani pe me.
Namche Bazaar and most of the villages along the trek used to only have farmers and traders, and now there's shops, cafes, and tea houses. Namche is the largest village with a school and a hospital, but in the 90s there was a trash problem. And the Khumbu region has worked really hard to keep these trails clean. One way is asking hikers to take a kilo trash bag back with them once you return back to Namche. The Everest region has a bad rep for having litter all over the ground, but from my experience, there actually was no trash on the ground. I encourage you, if you do ever visit, to pack out your own garbage. Don't buy water bottles, and how the classic saying goes, take only pictures and leave only footprints. It really is amazing that every single thing along this trek is brought up on the back of a porter or on the back of an animal. They do use helicopter for some goods, but they're mostly for rescues to get people out because there's no roads in here. If you get hurt, you have to get helicoptered out. We learned the average hiker will purchase 36 water bottles along the trek, and that's just so much trash. So we had a filter with our guide company, and it's definitely a must.
Welcome to day 2. We are currently en route to our next tea house, and we can see Everest in the back behind us.
It's actually day 4.
Oh my gosh, did I say day 2?
Yeah.
It's day 4. Last night I got really sick from, I think, altitude sickness, but it also could have been the pasta that I ate. So I did have to take some Diamox, which is the altitude sickness pill, and once you start taking that, you have to continue the entire time until you've gotten back down to a lower elevation. So I will be taking it for the next 5 days.
The best ways to avoid getting sick is to drink a ton of water, 4 to 6 liters every single day, and don't eat the meat. The power often goes out, and it's hiked in several days on somebody's back. So there's just no way to keep it stored well.
The not so glamorous part is sometimes the toilet is just a hole in the ground and the leaves help compost. Room number 3, 4th night. It's our 4th night, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And the boots are getting pretty dank.
Yeah. Day 5, spirits were high. That is Everest right there, right beside Lhotse Mountain. It was incredible to wake up and look out the window and see Everest.
Welcome to day 5. We woke up to the most amazing view of Mount Everest. The only tea house that you can see Mount Everest from. That medication seems to really work, and I thought I took it a little bit premature because no one else in my group had, but I'm really glad that I did. So to give you context, at base camp you have 50% of the oxygen levels that you would at sea level, and where we are a few days away still, we have about 70% of the oxygen levels. So it's really common to get a pain, headache right behind your eyes and in the front of your forehead, and it's common overnight to feel ill, like you're going to throw up, which happened. We had no idea how hot it was going to be here. We packed for winter basically. For a Canadian and a Norwegian, it's basically the hottest summer day of the year. But no complaints.
Yeah, you can see.
Amazing views.
So the dogs are semi-wild. They pretty much only eat garbage or leftovers from tea houses or what the tourists feed them. It was one of the hardest things to see. A lot of them seem to live a happy life, so.
We just reached 4,040 meters of elevation. The breath is starting to get super heavy and you have to breathe a lot deeper in order to intake that oxygen. We're about to break the tree line and today is the day where we'll lose service from our SIM cards, but I'm looking forward to being off the grid. Feels like a completely different climate up here. It's now cold and windy and we're in the clouds.
So these are oxes and they actually use the poo and dry it out and burn that in the fire to keep the main kitchen area warm in the tea houses. So that is actual poo dried out on rocks.
This is what our evening routine looks like. It's usually about 3:30 when we roll up to our tea house and get our room. Our duffel bags arrive pretty much at the same time we do. The entire trip I've been sleeping on top of the comforters and just in my sleeping bag that's rated to -18. They do hand wash everything up here, but overall it's been pretty clean. There's been no spiders, right?
I've seen spiders.
You've seen spiders?
I have seen spiders and flies.
Did you have a spider in your bed?
Not right now, but I did have a fly.
Oh, okay. In this room?
In this room, yeah.
Okay.
And last night I found 2. I just don't tell you about them.
Yeah, you spared me. This is what the tea house looks like on night number 5. It's everything you could ever need.
You need to show the bathroom though.
Yes. Look at this. It has a door, luxury, a sink with cold water. Toilet doesn't flush, but there's a toilet, so. Since yesterday, we haven't had access to showers unless you pay for them. And even then, it's been really cold because it's all solar powered. So if there's no sun that day, you can't have a warm shower. So from here on out, baby wipe showers. I'll spare you the visual, but you get it. You can pay for warm showers, but our guides recommend not to get that wet because if you don't dry fully, then you get cold and your hair will be wet and you'll get a chill. So I have about 3 layers. No, more than that. 3 layers a day of sunscreen on.
I think you smell great.
Oh, thank you.
Don't say that.
What are you eating?
It's garlic soup. This is what they suggest we have to combat the altitude sickness, and ginger tea.
Good morning, day 6. Look at what we just woke up to. And within 5 minutes, this entire place is covered in a cloud. This whole hill is filled with a bunch of yaks. This is the first town where we've been able to see yaks, so that means we're at a high enough elevation where it's starting to be colder. This is Amadublam, also known as Mother-Daughter, and one of the most technical mountains to summit in the Himalayas. Today we are staying at the same tea house for another night to acclimate again. The only thing on our must-do today is eat, drink tea, and we had to climb about 400 meters and we'll go back down. 3 out of 6 of us are now taking the Diamox altitude sickness pill. This is better than a beach. This is glorious. The water is so cold. So at nighttime when the temperature drops and you have to wash your face, it's not ideal. It gives your whole body a chill. So if you can use some type of wipes or something, I would recommend that. Day 7, let's go.
So ready.
That's a lot of potatoes. We've seen about 10 helicopters this morning. They're not bringing supplies. Those are all rescues from base camp. People wake up in the morning and start to feel altitude sickness or they just can't hike out. The only way out of here is to hike out or by helicopter, and that's gonna cost you over $1,000. We do have high altitude insurance, but you have to pay it out of pocket and then hope your claim goes through. I guess I didn't reapply enough and I burnt my nose so bad. So this is essentially a graveyard with monuments dedicated to Sherpas and climbers that have made a difference in Nepal and have made a real impact. Some of their stories are incredible and all are to be remembered. We made it to our last tea house before Everest Base Camp. Tomorrow we see the base. Welcome. This is what the world's highest bakery looks like. It looks like it's made out of metal. Mama nuts. Oh, 69 and feeling fine. All the hallway lights are off. There's no electricity. This is Nora's and I doubled shared accommodation. So this is the first tea house. We haven't had running water. We can't wash our hands. I'm having troubles just forming sentences. We have one more night at another tea house that's similar to this, and then we start making our way back down. It's going to get down to -3 Celsius overnight. It's going to take 9 hours tomorrow, our longest day and hardest day yet. My stomach is in knots, but we're just gonna push through and reach base camp tomorrow. Okay, Mom, how are you feeling?
I feel great. I think I'm gonna sleep like a baby. Apparently nobody sleeps here, maybe 2-3 hours at the most, but yeah, I'm gonna sleep like a baby for
You're
sure.
so nails. I want to be like you. I switched roommates. Nora's feeling under the weather, so I'm gonna bunk with my mom who had a room to herself tonight. I barely get my doll bot down, so got boiled eggs for breakfast in the morning. We'll see you then. Day 8. Today we reached base camp, and of course it's the first day of our entire trip that it's raining. And it's officially snowing. That's not dandruff in my hair, although there's probably some of that too. We left at about 6:40 and we just got to Gorakshay. It took us 2.5 hours. Our bags got dropped off. We're having some hot water and some mashed potatoes. And then we continue on to base camp. It's going to take us 2 hours to get there. And after we spend some time there, we trek 2 hours back to this tea house. And this will be our final night here until we start descending back down. Just trying to catch my breath because we are at 5,364 meters, the highest I've ever been, about 50% oxygen level.
Yeah, probably.
It would be. Yeah. Woo! We're almost there. 2 more minutes. We made it. This is what base camp looks like. Frozen on the rock. Got some tents over there.
Good job, guys.
There's no one camped here at base camp that's actually going to climb Everest because the climbing season for that is in May. And we came in September, right before busy season. Aww. He loves the head scratches.
Oh, it looks so slippery.
Okay, we made it! Space camp!
That right there is the Khumbu ice fall. The mountains feel like home to me. Hiking 130 kilometers with elevation gain and no running water, it brings me comfort in a weird way. But my comfort zone was pushed by the people I met, the locals who were kind and generous to share their way of life with us. Being surrounded by people is not my norm, but I think the biggest thing I'll take away from this trip is a sense of community. Meeting new people who are kind and also want to be immersed in nature. Meeting people I never would have met otherwise. The next 4 days hiking back, the temperature dropped and the winds picked up. I ended up feeling better the lower elevation we got until the last day.
I think I got the Kumbu cough, which I'm still recovering from 2 weeks later. It took over my whole nervous system. The last day should have been an easy 9 hours, but it was one of the hardest things I've done. I couldn't film, I was just focused on putting one foot in front of the other. Thanks so much for being here. We will see you next week when I'm back in Canada. Thanks again to Surfshark VPN for supporting my channel.